Point Nemo, located deep in the Pacific Ocean, is the world's most remote spot, known as the final resting place for defunct satellites and space debris. Far from any land, this mysterious graveyard swallows the remains of satellites and space stations, ensuring no harm to human life or property. In this article, we explore the history of Point Nemo, why it was chosen as the ideal location for satellite disposal, and the challenges humanity faces in dealing with space junk. Discover the deep connection between space exploration and the environmental concerns that arise with the disposal of space debris in one of the most isolated parts of the planet. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon for new update. Point Nemo, also known as the Graveyard of Satellites, is a unique and mysterious location on our planet that has intrigued both scientists and space enthusiasts alike. Located far out in the Pacific Ocean, it is a point on Earth where humanity has decided to send defunct satellites and space stations to meet their final fate. But what exactly makes this place so special? And why did we choose this remote spot in the vastness of the ocean? To answer these questions, let us take a journey to Point Nemo, the ultimate resting place for satellites. The name Point Nemo comes from Jules Verne's famous novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, where Captain Nemo's submarine, the Nautilus, traveled through the depths of the ocean. The name was given to this point because it is the farthest point on Earth from any land. In fact, Point Nemo is so remote that the nearest human beings to this spot are the astronauts aboard the International Space Station, EISA, which orbits Earth at an altitude of approximately 400 kilometers, about 250 miles. Situated at coordinates 48 dig 52, 6 is 123 day 23, 6W, Point Nemo is located in the South Pacific Ocean, far from the nearest landmasses. The closest land is over 2,688 kilometers, about 1,870 miles, away. To the north is the uninhabited Ducie Island, part of the Pitcairn Island. To the southeast lies the even more remote island of Easter Island, known for its famous moai statues. To the west, the closest land is the coasts of New Zealand, but this is still a considerable distance away. Point Nemo is often referred to as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, a term used to describe the most isolated location in the world's oceans. The vast expanse of water around it makes it an ideal location for what has become a global phenomenon, the disposal of decommissioned satellites and spacecraft. Since the mid-20th century, spacefaring nations have been sending their defunct satellites, space stations, and even spent rocket stages to this spot, ensuring that they fall into the ocean far away from human populations. The reason behind choosing Point Nemo as the final resting place for these machines is simple: its remote location. Satellites and space debris must be safely disposed of, and sending them into the ocean ensures they pose no risk to human life or property. Moreover, the deep waters of the South Pacific Ocean are the perfect sink for these items, as they are far from major shipping routes and isolated from busy trade routes. The graveyard aspect of Point Nemo came into being because of a combination of practical considerations and international treaties. As countries launched more and more satellites into space, the number of defunct satellites also grew, creating the need for a designated location for safe disposal. Point Nemo was chosen not only because of its remoteness, but also due to the fact that its waters are extremely deep, ranging from 3,000 meters, about 9,843 feet, to 4,000 meters, about 13,123 feet. This depth ensures that the debris is quickly swallowed up by the ocean, reducing the risk of it causing any harm. To date, several significant space missions and objects have been sent to Point Nemo, including the remains of several space stations, such as the Soviet Union's Mir space station in 2001. After serving its purpose in orbit for 15 years, Mir was deorbited and directed to fall into the South Pacific, directly over Point Nemo. The Russian space agency, Roscosmos, followed the same fate for its Progress spacecraft, which have been sent to the area after completing their missions. Other satellites and rocket stages have also been deliberately deorbited to fall into this vast, lonely stretch of ocean. Despite being an area where large pieces of space hardware meet their end, Point Nemo is not an area that many people visit. Due to its remote location, the only people who could ever be considered to have been near it are those on spacecraft, as astronauts aboard the IS pass over this point regularly. Other than that, there has been no significant human presence in the area. Since its location is far from populated areas, The only humans who have had any contact with this graveyard of satellites are those who made the decision to send defunct satellites here. No one, to our knowledge, has ever made the journey to Point Nemo simply for exploration, as it lies far beyond the reach of any major maritime trade routes or tourist destinations. As intriguing as Point Nemo is, it raises an important issue: the growing problem of space debris. Although space is vast, human activities have resulted in a considerable amount of waste being left behind. According to various space agencies and experts, there are millions of pieces of debris orbiting Earth, ranging from tiny paint flecks to entire defunct satellites and rocket fragments. Point Nemo is just one part of a much larger issue concerning the sustainability of space exploration. As the number of satellites and space missions grows, so too does the amount of debris. Efforts to solve the problem of space junk have led to the development of new technologies designed to capture and remove defunct satellites. Several space agencies have proposed and tested ideas for cleaning up space debris, such as using robotic arms, nets, or harpoons to capture and deorbit old satellites. Some solutions also aim to recycle space debris to make it useful for future missions. Yet Point Nemo remains the most prominent example of how spacefaring nations have chosen to handle the most dangerous and largest pieces of space debris. Interestingly, though Point Nemo remains a virtual graveyard for satellites, it is not entirely devoid of life. Despite the fact that this part of the ocean is remote and unexplored by human hands, marine life exists in the depths. The waters around Point Nemo are known to be part of the South Pacific Gyre, one of the largest oceanic systems in the world. It is an area where ocean currents converge, forming a kind of trap for debris, including both space junk and floating plastic waste. This has raised concerns about the long-term environmental impact of dumping defunct satellites into the ocean. While the metal and composite materials of satellites may degrade over time, the concern is that they may leach harmful chemicals into the surrounding waters, potentially affecting marine life. Despite the unknowns surrounding its environmental impact, Point Nemo remains an essential part of the global space mission. It is a reminder of humanity's progress in exploring the cosmos, as well as the responsibility that comes with that exploration. The vast open waters of Point Nemo may appear desolate, but in a way, they represent a deep and profound connection to the stars and the infinite expanse of space itself. It is a place where the remnants of our ventures into the great unknown are sent to rest, far away from the busy hum of human civilization. As of now, the number of objects sent to Point Nemo continues to grow, but it is impossible to predict how long this practice will continue. As space exploration becomes more advanced, perhaps new solutions will emerge to address the problem of space debris. However, for now, Point Nemo stands as the final, quiet destination for the satellites and space stations that once orbited our planet. It is a graveyard in the truest sense, a place where objects that once played a crucial role in our understanding of space now rest silently at the bottom of the ocean.